कपिला कौण्डनीय मध्यवासिनं लोकपूजितं वैगुरामागशमनं भवरोगहरं प्रभुम्. In this video, we will see the second part of Yuddhakand of Rudra Samhita. Lord Shiva spares the life of Indra. Suta narrates the following story to the sages. Once upon a time, Indra was going towards Kailash mountain to have a darshan of Lord Shiva. Sage Brihaspati was accompanying him. Lord Shiva came to know about his arrival. He wanted to test his devotion towards him. While both Indra and Brihaspati were still on their way, Lord Shiva met them in the guise of a hermit. Indra did not recognize Lord Shiva. Indra inquired about as to who he was and where he lived. Lord Shiva sat quietly without saying a word. Indra became furious and tried to attack Lord Shiva with his Vajra. Lord Shiva paralyzed the raised hands of Indra by his divine power. Brihaspati was able to recognize Lord Shiva. He made salutations to Lord Shiva and requested him to pardon Indra. Lord Shiva became pleased and diverted the power of his radiant eyes to the ocean. This way, Indra's life was spared by Shiva. Manifestation of Jalandhar. The energy which had been diverted by Lord Shiva into the ocean resulted in the manifestation of a small child. The incident happened at the place where river Ganga submerged into the ocean. The child was crying so ferociously. Lord Brahma went to the seashore. The sea put the child in his lap and inquired about the name of the child and also about his future. Meanwhile, the child pressed Lord Brahma's neck with such power that tears rolled down his eyes. For this reason, he named the child as Jalandhar. After Lord Brahma returned to his abode, the sea brought that child to his home and brought up that child with great love and care. When Jalandhar grew up, he married Vrinda, who was the daughter of Kalanemi. Later on, he became the ruler of the demons. Battle between Jalandhar and the deities. One day, sage Brigu came to meet Jalandhar. After receiving him with due respect, Jalandhar asked him as to who severed the head of Rahu. Sage Brigu then told him about Hiranyakashipu, who was the maternal uncle of Rahu. Sage Brigu also told him about Virochana, the son of the extremely charitable king Bali. Then Sage Brigu narrated the tale connected with the churning of ocean and how ambrosia emerged from the churning of the ocean. Sage Brigu told Jalandhar how Rahu's head was severed by Lord Vishnu while he was sitting among the deities and at the time when ambrosia was being distributed to all the deities. Jalandhar became very furious after hearing this story. He summoned one of his messengers whose name was Gasmar and instructed him to go and ask Indra as to why he had misappropriated all the wealth of his father, that is, the sea, which emerged during the churning of the sea. But Indra sent back Gasmar without any specific assurance. This action of Indra made Jalandhar more angry than before. He collected his army and attacked Indra. A fierce battle was fought between his army and the army of the deities. Many warriors got killed from both the sides. Shukracharya, the guru of the deities, brought back the dead warriors from the demon side back to life by his Smriti Sanjeevani Vidya. Similarly, sage Brihaspati brought back the dead warriors from the deities' side back to life with the help of medicinal herbs. When Shukracharya saw that sage Brihaspati was successfully making the dead deities alive, he instructed Jalandhar to submerge the Dronagiri mountain into the sea, so that it becomes impossible for Brihaspati to get the medicinal herbs by the help of which he made the dead deities alive. Jalandhar obeyed the command of Shukracharya and by lifting the Dronagiri mountain submerged it into the sea. The deities became demoralized and fled from the battlefield. Jalandhar captured Indrapuri. The terrified deities took the refuge of Lord Vishnu and sought his help. Goddess Lakshmi instructed Lord Vishnu against killing Jalandhar. A fierce battle was fought between both of them, which remained indecisive till the end. Lord Vishnu became very much impressed by the valiance of Jalandhar and asked him to demand any boon he liked. Jalandhar requested him to make his dwelling in the Kshirosagar, the abode of Jalandhar, along with his sister Lakshmi. Lord Vishnu agreed to fulfill his wish and started living in the Kshirosagar along with his consort Lakshmi. Being undefeated by Lord Vishnu himself, Jalandhar became the ruler of all the three worlds. Sage Narada advised Jalandhar to make Parvati as his consort. Jalandhar fell into Narada's trap. He sent Rahu to Lord Shiva with a proposal to part with Parvati. Rahu went to Lord Shiva and demanded Parvati, which made Lord Shiva extremely furious. His anger resulted into the manifestation of a ferocious creature which ran towards Rahu to devour him. Rahu had no option but to take the refuge of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva protected the life of Rahu. Battle between Lord Shiva and Jalandhar. Jalandhar then attacked Kailash mountain with his huge army. A fierce battle was fought between the Shivaganas and the demons. When Jalandhar realized that Lord Shiva had begun to dominate the battle, he created beautiful Apsaras and Gandharvas by his illusionary powers to divert the attention of Lord Shiva and his Ganas. Lord Shiva and his Ganas became enchanted by the heavenly beauty of the Apsaras. They stopped fighting and started watching their dance and music. Meanwhile, Jalandhar went to Parvati in the guise of Lord Shiva but was recognized by her. Being enchanted by the beauty of goddess Parvati, he looked at her with his evil intentions but was immobilized by her wrath. Mother Parvati requested Lord Vishnu to go to Jalandhar's wife in the guise of Jalandhar and act in the same way as Jalandhar had dared to do. Vrinda gets dishonored. With the help of his divine powers, Lord Vishnu created many inauspicious dreams while Vrinda was asleep. Lord Vishnu appeared in the guise of Jalandhar, but Vrinda was unable to recognize the real identity of her husband. She was very pleased after finding a husband. Both of them stayed in that very forest as husband and wife for a very long time. One day she came to know about the real identity of the person who was impersonating as her husband. Realizing that her chastity has been breached, she cursed Lord Vishnu by saying that just as he had played a deceitful trick with her, in the same way somebody would deceitfully abduct his wife and he too would wander in her search. After cursing Lord Vishnu, Vrinda embraced death by entering into the fire. Killing of Jalandhar. Shiva realized that whatever he was watching was nothing more than an illusion. The demons Shumb and Nishum came forward to fight with him, but ultimately they had to flee from the battlefield. A fierce battle commenced with Jalandhar. Finding an opportune time, Shiva severed the head of Jalandhar by his chakra, which had been created from his toe. After his death, Jalandhar's soul united with Shiva. Manifestation of Amla, Tulsi, and Malti. Lord Vishnu was very much saddened by the death of Vrinda. He took the ashes from the pyre and, after applying them on his body, started wandering here and there. The deities went to goddess Parvati and prayed to her. She became very pleased and, with the assistance of Lakshmi and Saraswati, gave some seeds to them. The deities sprayed those seeds on the pyre on which Vrinda had given up her life. Three holy plants manifested from that pyre: Amla, Tulsi, and Malti. Later on, Tulsi and Malti attained Vishnuloka by the virtue of their respective penance. In the next video, we will see the remaining part of Yuddhakand of Rudra Samhita. Om Namah Shivaya.